Ndewo ndebe anyị. Kedu ka ekesi anyanwụ? Ama m na ihe niile na-agara gị nke ọma. Nke onye chiri ya zere. Egbe ga-ebere, ugo na onwe ya kwa ga-eberekwa. For some time now, I've received several requests from my wonderful Igbo language audience. And the request they're making is that I should compare and place Asusu Igbo side by side with some other languages. Asusu Igbo deserve the status of a world-class language, just like English language, Chinese, Spanish, Russian, and some other world languages are spoken internationally. So Asusu Igbo deserve that honor of being a world-class language because anyị bụ ndị Igbo suru ọnụ. We're everywhere. Our brothers and sisters are everywhere, working, studying, doing research, doing business, residing, traveling all around the world. So we're everywhere. And if we can take our language along with us, then our language deserves the status of a world-class language, just like English language. Bekee zuru ụwa ọnụ. Kosinadi, Igbo n'onwe ya kwa kwesịkwara izu ụwa ọnụ. So I've got this request to place Asusu Igbo and English side by side. Ka anyị wee hụ nyiri na ndị iche dị na Asusu Igbo na Bekee. Okay, so to start with, you know, again, okay, to start with, Bekee nwe mkpụrụ edemede 26. English has 26 letters, 26 alphabets, with which all English or most English words are formed. I take it again. English language has 26 alphabet. There are 26 in number, subdivided into different categories: vowel letters and consonant letters. Okay? But Igbo language has 36 alphabets. English has 26. Igbo has 36. Okay? 36 pụtara 36. So when you do the math, 36 minus 26 will give you 10. So the difference in number between English alphabet and Igbo alphabet is 10. So we have more 10. Igbo language has more 10 alphabet than English, which actually support this notion that Igbo language is much more diverse than English. Because if a language can have more letters, it means that it should have more words, more grammar, more vocabulary. So for someone to tell you that Igbo lack vocabulary and grammar, it is an absurd misinformation. As you have realized, if you haven't before, Igbo language has more alphabet, more letters than English, which means we can be able to form many more Igbo words, much more. So as an Igbo user, as an Igbo speaker, Igbo writer, okay, as a user of Igbo language, you should not lack words with which to express yourself in Asusu Igbo. So that's one distinguishing factor between English and Igbo. Okay? English 26 letters, Igbo 36 letters. Then secondly, because of the higher number of letters in Igbo, the Igbo language or ABD Igbo, the ABD Igbo or Mkpụrụ Edemede Igbo, remember, we call it English alphabet. In English, we call them alphabet, English alphabet, okay, or letters. But in Igbo, we call it ABD or Mkpụrụ Edemede. You see, I went deeper into this topic in my comprehensive Igbo language course. So once you enroll, you get to learn more about the foundations of Asusu Igbo. That course is a very important course. It will be a critical and crucial asset for you if you want to understand the basics of Igbo language, beginning with Mkpụrụ Edemede Igbo, the Igbo alphabet. Okay, so because Igbo language has many more alphabet, we have more number of vowel letters and more number of consonant letters. Okay, so in English you have A, E, I. Okay, so these are the the vowel letters you have in English: A, E, I, O, and U. There are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are what you have in English. But in Igbo, you have 8 of them. In Igbo, you have 8 vowel letters. 5 in English: A, E, I, O, and U. And then 8 in Asusu Igbo. Also, in Igbo language, you have 28 consonant letters, which are subdivided into, of course, consonant letters are mbochume. They are called mbochume in Igbo. So you have mbochume iri abụọ na asatọ. Out of that 28 mbochume, you have mbochume mkpe, the ones that are in two, that are in pairs. We call them diagrams. And then mbochumenge, the single letters, the single consonant letters. So apart from the vowel letters and the consonant letters, which are different between those two languages, another factor that distinguishes Igbo language and makes it even a more specialized language is the presence of digraphs. You don't see digraphs in many languages. So if you are still wondering what makes this our Igbo language special, think of the digraphs. Let me show you what I mean. In English, there is no diagraph, okay? But in Igbo, we have them. We have the Mgbe, he, we, kwe, be, ni, mwi, she. Okay? So we have the diagraphs. There are 9. I've been looking to see the one that is missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 diagraphs. in Igbo ABD, but none in English. Okay, all the English alphabets that are single, they exist in ones. But in Igbo, we have alphabets that exist in twos or as pairs, as you have seen them here. And this is actually the test of your proficiency in Igbo. If you can pronounce those diagrams quite well, then your proficiency in Asusu Igbo is encouraging, is remarkable. So this is where we usually test learners. Anybody who is able to pronounce this very well will find it easier to learn Igbo. Will learn Igbo faster. Okay. So when you enroll in the course, you see the link in the description. When you get to this point where we discussed Mgbe, Mgbe, you learn how to pronounce all these alphabets. Okay, those ones that are in pairs. So these are another distinguishing factor between Igbo language and English language. Okay, and then Igbo language is quite integrated into the Igbo tradition, Igbo culture, Igbo spirituality, and Igbo philosophy. This is why I always emphasize on the need to fully integrate yourself into the Igbo system when you are learning Igbo language. You cannot just take the language and leave the culture. You cannot take the language and keep it away from the idioms, the proverbs, and the wise sayings. You cannot take Igbo language and leave the folk tales, the moonlight stories. Okay, so if you want to learn Igbo, be ready and willing to immerse yourself in the culture of the people, the food, the dressing, the thinking pattern, the system of entrepreneurship, and